Crop production management. In India, as well as in many other agricultural based countries, farming ranges from small to very large farms. Different farmers does have more or less land, money, and access to more information and technologies. For example, if you see the farmers which belongs to big countries like America, Australia, the farmers able to get more information and technologies about crop production management. But in countries like India, you observed some farmers has all facilities with them which are financially strong. Some farmers have average financial conditions and some are very poor. So these are the three types of farmers which are present in India. In short, it is the money or financial conditions that allow farmers to take up different farming practices and agricultural technologies. So, student, you must have seen many farmers in your villages. Out of them, some are having their own farmhouses, cars, tractors, healthy animals, and many more things related to agriculture. On the other hand, some farmers and their families are living in small hut, and few farmers are having average land, money, and other important things for doing farming. So, on the basis of these three categories, production practices can be at different levels. It includes no cost, low cost, and high cost production. Even if countries' farmers are categorized as no cost, low cost, and high cost, there are some mandatory factors that are very essential for crop production management. Let's see these factors in detail. Nutrient management. So, just as we require food for development, growth, and well being, plants also require nutrients for their proper growth. Then, how nutrients are supplied to plants for their growth? Nutrients are supplied to plants through air, water, and soil. So, mainly there are two types of nutrients: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are the nutrients which are used in large quantities, and micronutrients are the nutrients which are essential for plant development in very low quantity, and that's why they are called as micronutrients. So out of 13 nutrients, 6 nutrients are required in small quantities and which are called as micronutrients, and other 7 required in large quantity, that is called as macronutrients. So micronutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. These are all micronutrients, and iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, molybdenum and chlorine, these are all macronutrients. Deficiency of these nutrients affects the reproduction of plants, growth of plants and their susceptibility to the diseases. So to increase the crop yield, soil should be enriched by supplying these nutrients. But from where soil get these nutrients? The answer is from manures and fertilizers. How? Let's see. We have already discussed that soil supplies minerals and nutrients for the growth of plants or crops. However, growing crops continuously one after the other depletes the nutrients from the soil. Growing crops continuously one after the other, this process is crop rotation. Crop will not be healthy if they are not provided with proper nutrients. So therefore farmers add manure or fertilizer to the soil to replenish the soil with nutrients. Let's talk about manures and fertilizers. Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant and animal waste. Manures contain large quantity of organic matter and supplies small quantity of nutrients to the soil. How? Because manures are prepared by decomposition of plants and animal waste. We have already seen in 8th standard that how manure get prepared from plant and animal waste. Let's have a small recap on this. Then question may arises in your mind that why farmers should use manure. There are many reasons which tells us why farmers should use manures. First one is manures helps in enriching the soil with nutrients and organic matter which increases soil fertility. Then the presence of large amount of organic matter in soil helps in improving the soil structure. Adding manures in sandy soil increases the water holding capacity of the soil. If you add manures in clay soils, large quantity of organic matter which are present in clay soils helps in drainage and avoid waterlogging in soil. While using manure, we used biological waste material which helps to clean our environment. This is very important factor amongst all that using manure we use biological waste material which helps to clean our environment. Using biological waste material is also a way of recycling farm waste. So this is all about manures. But on the basis of this, manures are classified into two categories, that is compost and vermicompost and green manure. Compost and vermicompost. What is meant by composting? The process of decomposition of farm waste material like cow dung, vegetable waste, domestic waste, sewage waste, eradicated weeds. These are the farm waste. So the process of decomposition of farm waste is called composting. Compost is rich in organic matter and nutrients. Then what is vermicompost? Decomposition of plants and animal waste by using earthworms. This is called as vermicompost. You all know that earthworm is a friend of farmer. Why? Because it makes soil porous, because of which soil gets maximum amount of oxygen and able to exchange gases from the environment. Then green manure. Some plants like guar, rice are grown and then mulched by plugging them into the soil. And thus these green plants turn into green manure, which helps in enriching the soil with nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. So this is all about types of manures and importance of manures. Then let's see fertilizers. Chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrient required for the growth of plants are called fertilizers. Why farmers should use fertilizers? Fertilizers supply nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. They used to ensure good vegetative growth, that is growth of plants, leaves and flower. In high cost farming, fertilizer is very important factor for high yield of crops. But fertilizers should be used carefully in terms of proper dose, time and observing pre and post observation precautions for their complete utilization. For example, sometimes fertilizer may washed away due to excessive irrigation and are not fully absorbed by the plants. This excess fertilizer then leads to water pollution. Also, we have studied that continuous use of fertilizers in an area can destroy the fertility of soil. Why? Because organic matter in the soil is not replenished and microorganisms in the soil are harmed by the fertilizer used. And hence it is better to use manures than fertilizers. Now let's see the difference between manures and fertilizers. Manure is a natural substance obtained by decomposition of plant and animal waste. Fertilizer is an inorganic salt. So, manures is that which farmers are using for development and growth of plants. Plants get nutrients from manure. So, while using manure, we use biological waste material which helps to clean our environment. And that's why using biological waste material is also a way of recycling farm waste. Fertilizer is an inorganic salt. If farmers use this inorganic salt in large quantity, then it may affect the plant. Manure is prepared in farm. As we have already discussed, that manure is a natural substance obtained by decomposition of plants and animal waste. So in case of manure, we use biological waste and clean our environment. But fertilizers are prepared in factories. Manures adds plenty of humus to the soil, but fertilizers do not add any humus to the soil. So these are the few differences between manures and fertilizers, which clears that why farmers should use manures for better crop production.